Good day, everyone. Welcome to our weekly review with Gianmarco. And today, Gianmarco has a few things to review with us, a few charts and graphics to review with us. So, Gianmarco, welcome. What do you have for us today?
Hi, Sam. Okay, so let me share my screen and let's get to it immediately. Okay, so we are starting from the S&P because it's where we left last week, basically. If you remember last week, I showed you this chart. We were here, this red candle over here.
Absolutely. I actually remember that. I thought we were going to bounce back from the from that trend line, and the outcome was that was a breakthrough.
Yeah, exactly. We say, okay, what is going to happen? Another rebound is going to hold also this time. And it didn't, but it did in the end, because on Monday, we know, everybody knows what's happened. On Monday, a scary section, because you can see here this long shadow down here. So at some point, we were down here, and that could have be very serious trouble if we got a follow through in this selling pressure. But luckily, it didn't, because after a lot of volatility on Tuesday, again, selling pressure, but the lows of the previous day are holding very well. And then we start to see some positive price action on Wednesday, and then the gap up on Thursday, and then Friday continuation. And we are back again above the trend line. So nothing changed from last week. We simply have this test that, again, what does it mean? That the trend line, of course, is a line. So this pressure didn't hold initially, but went back up. So this bull market at the moment, to me, seems still active and in good shape. Of course, we'll see what's going to happen next week. We may continue in a choppy market. We may pull back again, may go up. But it's been a very interesting week so far.
So quick question. In your opinion, Gianmarco, this trend line, did it become, it was a support before, did it become now a resistance? Or you believe it's back out at support?
It's difficult. It's difficult to tell. It could do both. We will see what is happening on Monday and Tuesday, because if we have no continuation on the upside, that may turn into resistance. And on the other hand, if we continue on the upside, it may turn and continue to work as a resistance. Again, I'm not a huge fan of trend line. I'm more on the horizontal support and resistance. But of course, if you see a chart like this, you cannot ignore this trend line. And it's very funny. Again, in my opinion, trend line, they are not so reliable as the horizontal support resistance lines, but it is wonderful how it worked this time. Again, Friday last week, we are here on the red side, and now we are back up on the green side. So very, very, very interesting.
Great.
And going down with the QQQ, it's very similar price action, of course, because we know the big mega stocks like Apple, Microsoft, and Google, Amazon, they are huge component in both indices, so they are affecting both. But here, the only difference I would say in the QQQ is that on Thursday we didn't have so much of a gap up like in the SPY, but very similar price action. And the VIX, of course, is reflecting all of these. We had on Monday a wild session. We were back actually to the 28 level that was touched only a couple of times here in May. Otherwise, that was the level where we arrived at the beginning of the year, when we had that sort of small correction and sector rotation. So, but again, after this spike on Monday, now we are back in a relatively, so to speak, safe area under the 20 level.
So lots of volatility on Monday specifically, when we saw that big down. Quick question: is it a good time to sell some cash puts in there to take advantage of those high premiums?
Yeah, of course. You need to have the stomach to face some
Absolutely,
sort of
yeah.
So you need to have a plan. Long story made short, you need to have a plan. You need to be prepared and be ready for that. And of course, you don't need to be with too much exposition, because you, in my opinion, it's always good to have some portion of cash at hand to play this sort of pullback. And you know, with the sort of uptrends almost non-stop we had in the past few months, this pullback was to be expected.
Yes.
So if you had some cash at hand, of course, I did some play beginning of the week. But again, I don't like to push too much on a single day. I like to spread my position over multiple days. But of course, these are the perfect day to enter, because the market is red, volatility is spiking up, and you get rich premiums. So it's the perfect time to enter, of course.
Great.
And
so let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a few stocks I think you believe you wanted to share.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Basically, I want to show you very quickly with the position after the monthly expiration. In the previous week, I had a relatively calm week with only 5 CSP expiring, plus the one on ARC where I'm playing the wood strategy. So HPQ expired worthless, same MOS, and MU actually was one of my peaks of last weekend, and I played on Monday, I think. Yes, here on Monday I saw this, and that was the day of the pullback, so I played MU because I was prepared for that. And yeah, I play exactly the level I told you the other weekend, the 70. There was a good premium because he's soon to report earnings, and work very, very smoothly. So expire worthless for full premium. And also I have another position on the triple leverage on the Q that also expire worthless. And because it's triple leverage, I was very, very careful on the level that I played. I played a very low delta on this and worked fine. And the fifth position I have open was the K-Web that also I suggested last weekend.
Yes.
And I'm still with this position open because it's still under my strike. But I suggested also, because I was already with this position open over last weekend, so I simply roll again. But I suggest also the 45 level, and it's still, this play is still in progress. So also next week will be a very interesting one. And same with MU, because there will be earnings. If you are the person looking for speculation around earnings, is a great time to play a setup like MU, because all in all, there is this sort of consolidation above the 70 level. Overall, the trend is great. The only risk I can see here is this second level of resistance, of support, sorry. There is one in the 70, but if this is lost, probably we're going back to the 60. So I need to be prepared for some possible movement on the downside. But because of earnings, premium are very, very high on MU. So if you like the earning play, this is a good candidate. And then one of my favorites, ARC.
Same here. Love ARC. Yeah.
Yeah, I've played lots of times ARC this year. I'm accumulating premium over premium. I am long on 100 shares, so I also played some cover calls. At the moment, last week I had 2 positions expiring. The one expiring Friday, worthless. I have another one for the next week at the 112. And now, just to finish, couple of possibility for next week. Sorry.
Next week.
Yeah. So this is Dow, is basic material. So we're talking about chemicals, quite a boring industry, no tax, no high IV, but a very solid company, actually with a relatively recent history. It was incorporated in 2018, so just a few years ago. So the chart is not very, very long. If you scroll back, it's not very long. And but I can see these, I have already a CSP, as you can see here, at the 57.5. and but I still like it a lot. Earnings are going to come end of October, so possibility to play the monthly. I think here there is only the monthly in October, and this level of support of the 55 is looking good, very, very good. So basically, next week, if it's going back up the 57 and 50, there is good liquidity at this level. You can play these. If it's going down to the 55, you can play these on CSP. And the last one, very, very interesting to me, one of the stock that I played in the past few months with very good success, and is Nike. That Nike is very fun here. I mean,
Yeah.
look at this. Was here
Strong earnings.
reports on the earnings, a huge gap up, and then I actually, yeah, at the time I had the shares. I was playing the wheel, so I sold around here because it was very extended the upside. It continued the march higher up to hitting resistance at the 175, and then down, down, down until here. Yeah, there were some disappointment in the earnings, but again, is old news. They are coming and going. This is a Dow stock, so it's a mega cap stock. Is a very solid company, and the levels are starting to be very, very interesting. I will be curious to see how it's going to react next week. If this level around the 147 is going to hold or not, because that is a crucial. If that is lost, it can go in more trouble. If this is holding, actually, a CSP around the 145 could be played. And
Very interesting.
yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I think that's all for IF
That's great.
this week.
That's great. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed these reviews from Gianmarco. And Gianmarco, thank you very much for having these reviews with us.
Thank
And
you.
we'll talk next week.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye, Sam.
Happy trading, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.